One. Hello, everybody. This is Dirty Kev, and I am here today with M. Abdallah. This is Just 3Jobbers, baby. Hey, everybody. Moose, happy to have you here today. It's just the two of us. How are you this morning, man?
I'm great. Just watched a pretty good episode of Raw. How are you doing, Kevin?
You know what? I actually agree with you. I'm somebody who liked the fact that this Raw. I'll tell you one thing. This Raw seemed like it was chaos a little bit. Would you say? That's a good way to put it. It felt like it was a different feel to it. I remember I was listening to a podcast this morning, and somebody said that you know he said that it just seemed like it was just a little messy and just seemed like a little bit off to what we're used to, which I kind of like. It seemed like they threw everything at the wall just to see what will stick, and we definitely have some interesting segments to discuss tonight. Moose, what did you think of Monday Night Raw, man?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it was actually a really good episode. It was cool seeing the new underground kind of thing. I'm not really sure what that is, but it was pretty cool. And I don't know, just throughout the episode, there was a bunch of just little things going on. Like, one thing that was kind of weird to me, though, was when that one little segment when those people were throwing, like, fireballs at the whatever that was, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like,
we're going to have to discuss that because that's a new faction. And from what it seems like it's like 6 people. Might be just be 6 random people. But I also had a thought. That's what I was wondering. Or a bunch of NXT randoms. Maybe it's like Brendan Vick and Shane Thorne being back. I don't know. But yeah, it was weird because we didn't get to see anybody like Ricochet wasn't on this episode, right?
No, I believe no.
Cedric. I don't think Cedric was either. You got to look for the stars who weren't on there. But yeah, how about this? Let's just dive into Monday Night Raw. I mean, like we do it, we can kind of just keep discussing. I mean, that's probably the biggest thing besides Raw Underground. Let's just kind of decide, like, we can kind of discuss this. So WWE yesterday pretty much came in and made a statement on their website saying there's a new faction that's about to show up. Get ready to watch at 8/7 Central, essentially, and they're about to shake things up in the system. And maybe it wasn't the system, but at first I think everyone kind of thought, okay, Undisputed Era are they debuting tonight? And what we got was Monday Night Raw starting off with the U.S. Championship, which I thought was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see Apollo Creed back, and it was him against MVP. Great way to start off Monday Night Raw, and it was kind of a good surprise. I like that. Was that announced before?
I'm not really sure.
Not really. Yeah, I don't really think it was announced before. But, this Raw had a lot going into it. So, I mean, all night we saw things like, we saw, like, the lights flicker. Remember, they're like, well, there's a storm outside. And yet, wait, when the guys were outside, there was no storm.
Yeah, and the show is pre-recorded too. So like,
yeah. So we're just kind of like, okay, this is a little weird, but whatever. And then pretty much with that main match, and then throughout the rest of the show, just boxes falling, mics going out, and I knew this had to be something because like KO brought it up, things like that. And what we got was just about, was it 5 or 6 people throwing a bunch of, wearing masks, wearing all black. I don't think they were the ninjas. I'm pretty sure they weren't the ninjas.
That's what I thought at first.
I think so too.
They were the ninjas, but
just causing a ruckus, yeah. Because they're not 20, or I guess because Tozawa's 24/7 champ. So you know what? Let's just destroy the place. But no, it's and so right now it looks like it has a female, at least one female, and it looks like 4 guys. Is that what it is? I think.
Yeah, 4 or 5. But right now, I feel like it could just be some jobbers right now, but that's not the real group. They're just doing it just for taping purposes, you know. So
to figure out what they're gonna do with it, maybe.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of like those little placeholders just to, have a little segment and then, move into who actually is going to be, because they're probably still trying to figure out who exactly, or it's going to be. Yeah. Especially with all this COVID stuff, like who can travel, who can't. And,
you're telling me, man, we didn't even see Apollo for 3 weeks because he had COVID-19. I think it was confirmed he had COVID-19. So he had to get, it was good to see him back, but
So do you think they're gonna keep the old U.S. championship since Apollo won and he had both the titles? Do you think they're just gonna discard that one and just use the one MVP made, or they're gonna keep? Is he gonna walk out with both of them?
I think he's just gonna move on to the new U.S. title. Yeah, I think that's what probably the plan is. But I do want to ask you this though, Moose. If you, this is what I've read online. There's pretty much two ideas of who this group is. One is that it's the guys it's like the people who may have been released, or it's Undisputed Era. Maybe it's like Rusev, Aiden English, people like that, maybe together or something like that, starting a group. Mike Bennett, maybe, because we haven't seen him yet. I don't know, because that's one of the rumors that's kind of going on. And then maybe someone who was released. They did bring up Sarah Logan tonight, which was interesting on TV. So, like, you never know. It could be something like that, or Undisputed. Who do you think it would be?
I really like the Undisputed Era there, because you guys think about it this way. Adam Cole loses his title, right? He's not champion anymore. Mm-hmm. Roderick Strong is going through, he just had his, like, little feud with, like, Dexter Lumis, nothing really, like, big. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, really haven't seen much of them lately, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's a good time to bring them up to the main roster, because they have such a great following with NXT. Everyone loves Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I think they're the main thing. I mean, it's been 3 years, dude. They've been in NXT for 3 years now.
And I think there's a lot of NXT viewers that just watch NXT. They don't watch Raw. They don't watch SmackDown. They just strictly watch NXT. So I think that would be a good way to get more eyes on Raw, having them come up. And I think that's because I don't really think it's like the guys that got released, because they got released for a reason, and I don't really see Vince bringing them back for a faction,
right?
Unless a big faction anyway. Like, I could see maybe just like a little, like, 2-week little thing, but not a big, like, one that's going to change Raw and change the what they're describing it as. So I like Undisputed there for that. But
I think so too. I think it'd be a good way to introduce them. Now, Max brought this up yesterday, and I kind of like this idea. What if it was now? This is me trying to connect the dots here. Maybe I'm being a little bit, Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia. Have you seen that, where he's just crazy and there's strings everywhere? But yeah, so watching tonight, we saw Kevin Owens and Ric Flair together at a point, and Max brought up the idea of, Ric Flair brought up the idea to Kevin Owens, being like, you need to step up again. You need to, figure out what's going on with you. And KO kept saying, I've been a bad guy in my past. I've screwed a lot of people over before. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that person. I want to get there my way. And then he left. Interesting to me. Would Kevin Owens and the Undisputed Era possibly be together doing this? Maybe is that too far-fetched for me, or what do you think? And I think that'd be something, I think that was a good idea that Max raised, that they should come in together. But that'd be cool if that was them under that mask. I don't know. What do you think? And maybe a good female wrestler too, the Undisputed Era, like the undisputed best in the wrestling.
And especially since KO had his history with NXT as well, NXT champ and all that stuff. Like, I could actually just further the storyline a lot, and I think that'd be actually a really good idea. But
because then they could keep Undisputed on NXT, have them kind of keep doing this BS for a month or two, maybe. Because right now it seems like they're gonna feud with Imperium and, like, the NXT UK group, which I like. I'm freaking pumped to see Walter return. Have you seen the Walter match yet?
Oh yeah.
Walter return is gonna be phenomenal. So yeah, I don't know. That's just the idea with that new faction. Just kind of interesting. I'm hoping that it's gonna be good. I hope they don't cut it off and write it off next week. But you never know. I guess they recorded 2 weeks of shows today, so we'll see. It could change.
I could also see it being something to do with Raw Underground, like that Dabo guy or whatever, because I don't know, like, you can't just have, like, some new thing and say it's Shane O'Mac's brainchild and all this stuff, and it's just one episode of them at Underground. You know what I mean?
Should we discuss Underground? Let's just go into that. So Shane McMahon returned. Shane McMahon's back, and he's running on Raw Underground.
I really like it. Like you brought up yesterday, it gives other wrestlers, a chance to shine. And actually,
thank you. Did you see my tweet?
Yeah, and it actually helps them develop their wrestling skills, because what it seemed like yesterday was more strictly, it was like more UFC based, like throws and like small punches and stuff. And I think that will help these younger wrestlers get into their feel of the sport, because they have that chance to practice when it's not like a lot on the line. It's just like them getting reps and continuing their like mastering their craft. So I think it's going to help out in the long run if they keep it up. But
and it's gritty. I think having like I remember I think what kind of made people nervous was the first guy that kind of shined was Abba Dado, or what's his name?
Dabo something. I don't know.
Dado. It was an interesting name. I'm sorry for my bad journalism here, but yeah, I think it was just it's a concept where it's shoot style wrestling, so it's going to look real, but they are still pulling back and not actually putting close fists to face, a lot of elbows to face, a lot of things like that, which still hurts. Not gonna lie, it looks good.
A lot of throws.
Yeah. So you're a wrestler. You remember how doing like crossface and all that nonsense. But yeah, I just think that when they started showing like Dolph Ziggler in there, I liked having Dolph Ziggler there. Yeah. Oh, having Eric, right? It was Eric.
Yeah,
Eric in there, and he was he looked like a stud in there. Like showing these guys this different dynamic. Like now I'm thinking to myself, oh, Eric's getting shined in this arena because he deserves to be in here. I don't think they're going to put guys in this underground who are pussies. They're going to put guys like Dolph Ziggler who has that wrestling background, who looked sick there. Didn't he look sick in that environment?
Yeah. He looked unreal. I mean, he was kind of facing a jobber, but like that's gonna come,
He just looked ruthless. That's what I'm saying, though. It didn't look like it was like Dolph Ziggler being nice, and it was like a real showing his wrestling, showing like his toughness. I like that. It adds a layer. It adds something that maybe Vince is missing, and I think that's something that could help with superstars like Dolph Ziggler. The Hurt Business.
Yeah.
They literally, that ending of Raw was sick. I love that they kind of took it over. Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? You're a Bobby Lashley guy, so I want to hear your thoughts.
Like I've been saying, like I want Bobby Lashley to keep being the stud. Like I don't want him facing Ricochet and all this stuff. Like that's his element right there. Him just being a badass. Just him being like the muscle. Like no one's gonna fuck with him pretty much. You know what I mean? And then you have Shelton Benjamin, who's also a D1 wrestler.
How crazy that he's even in this right now. Like I haven't seen him on any TV. I swear to God, over the last 3 years.
And then finally, randomly, he just shows up.
Yep.
But that's the COVID era, You just got to pick and choose people.
It's the guys, they want to step up. You want to step – I mean, Shelton's a guy that, Vince can rely on. And Vince needs that. So
an MVP, and then MVP, the veteran, 10-plus years or probably longer than that.
Yeah. But I love – it's also a thing like he hasn't been on TV in so long. So, you know what, even though he is 45 years old, Bobby Lashley's in his 40s too. I think Shelton Benjamin in his 40s. They haven't been like superstar. Like they're not getting like John Cena level pushes. So like to me, to all of us fans, it's still like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like this. It is a little short-term thinking, but you know what? Wrestlers can wrestle for another 2-3 years, and that's all you want out of a faction. So you know what?
And I liked it. And I liked it how Shane wasn't like super big and like he wouldn't like talk a lot. He just kind of like announced the matches and then stepped back. And then when like the Hurt Business came in, he kind of just like said, "I don't want really any trouble," basically, and then kind of just laughed. And I like that because Shane, like he can be hit or miss for me. Like he's either really good in my eyes or just terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I just don't know how they're gonna evolve with him doing that. Like him being the whatever he is, the main
announcer.
Main guy,
it's like his project.
Yeah, it's his brainchild. That's what they kept saying last night. So
yeah, I remember it was funny. I was listening to Wrestling Inc. podcast, and they were saying that at the beginning of the show, it was like, this is Raw Underground, and then by the end of it, because of the initial reaction, it was like, this is Shane McMahon's Raw Underground. Like it was just like a thing, like it was going to be put on to Shane McMahon. I hope it keeps going, man.
Yeah, I hope it keeps going. But see, the thing that I'm kind of worried about though is if it doesn't progress in anything. I just don't like, because like right now it's the first time seeing it's cool, you know what I mean? But if we keep seeing this for like 3-4 weeks to a month, like same stuff, it's just it's gonna get dry and old, So I think I just hope they find ways to like, tweak it and make it more entertaining each and every week. So that's really all I want.
Completely agree with you, man. I would say too, think about this. with this being like a COVID era, this is interesting for everybody because there are no fans. There really aren't many fans. So you're in this small arena. You're not filling it up with everybody. I think it's good to have something different than just being in an arena, because if there's no fans there, that already takes half of the excitement of watching Monday Night Raw. So you got to do things like doing like what they did, like a background, like the Raw Underground. I think that's kind of a cool segment to me because, I agree with you. I really hope that they make it, not just some short-term thing for everybody, because I think it could help build and add a little bit of character depth to, some other wrestlers. Make it something. I hope that they even add more layers to it next week. Maybe add,
if it gets even bigger, maybe you'd have like a 1 hour show on like a Tuesday or something with it,
Or we don't even see Bobby Lashley and we randomly get, another good wrestler, like, someone who's a stud instead of like a jobber. Because all we saw were jobbers yesterday. Yeah. I can't wait to when we see actual wrestlers going against each other. That's going to be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
So that's going to be interesting to see. I think with the Hurt Business running the show there essentially and being like, the tough guys now, I think that helped their character development a ton as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Would you say that picture of them all in their suits? They're essentially the Nation of Domination evolution right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you think, are they gonna just be that, or are they gonna actually have a Nation Domination? Like, is that still a thing, or?
I think this is I think this is going to be the Nation of Domination, I don't think they need to even do a Nation of Domination type thing. I think, just make the Hurt Locker what it is. And I think they're a bunch of stud, just men who are just
that's what the Nation of Domination pretty much was. Like,
yeah. They're almost kind of like, they're heel, but they weren't like suit wearing guys. That's what reminds me. It's like,
other than The Rock, but
I don't think they've ever, not really. He just wore kind of cool shirts.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we're both excited about this. So we can kind of move on, I guess, to the next big thing. I mean, I'd say, should we just move on to probably Sasha? Would you want to talk about Sasha Banks and Bayley and the segment with Asuka?
Yeah, and Shayna.
Shayna, and then Shayna. Yeah. Dive into it.
So I know we're trying to stay positive, but Shayna, like, I love Shayna as a wrestler, but her mic skills just kind of, I'm not sure about it.
There's more to be desired.
Yeah, it just seems like she tries too much. Like, it's, the way she like talks and stuff, she like just tries too much. It doesn't come organically. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because we're a positive podcast, but like, at the end of the day, like, if you're a real fan, you pick out these things. You can just tell when people have the skill or not. And I just don't really see it with her, but she's a great in-ring performer. So
she's someone who needs to speak for herself in the ring more.
Yeah,
that's it.
I think so. But anyway, I think this is the start of the breakup between Bayley and Sasha, because you know how last night they announced the match, Asuka versus Bayley, and if Asuka wins, she gets a title shot at was it SummerSlam, right?
Against Bayley?
No, it was next week. It's Bayley versus Asuka, and if Asuka wins, she gets the
shot at okay. And then what's Shayna doing?
Shayna, what is Shayna doing?
Because I thought we thought originally she was going to be doing something with Nia.
I think she's doing something with Bayley. I thought. Now.
Well, she punched Sasha in the face. Let me find that. Okay, through to recap. Okay. Yeah, it said just decked her and then leaving. And it makes sense because this has been, I think they want to do, it looks like we're going to do the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler maybe against Sasha. And then, I don't know, maybe a triple threat against Sasha. I don't know.
Because that's what they said. If Asuka beats Bayley next week, then she gets to have a chance at Sasha's title at SummerSlam. And Bayley was acting all, mad about it, like upset. And I think that's just kind of like the start of, this whole best friend thing going down the drain a little bit, because you could tell like she was all like butthurt about it that she has to face Asuka next week. But I don't know, like, yeah, that segment was just really jumbled to me, because you had Shayna punching Sasha, and then all of a sudden they just show like last Monday Night Raw's match between Asuka and Sasha, and they showed almost like the whole match, like the last like 10 minutes of it, and I was just
seemed like yeah.
And then they did another replay later in the show, but that was like with Seth. But I don't know, that whole 30 minutes was just kind of jumbled to me, and I didn't really understand a lot of it, just because it just all happened kind of so fast. Like they had this happen, and then they showed the replay, and then they showed Bailey and Sasha actually there, and it was just kind of like, what, you know?
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, it'd be cool. Shayna definitely needs, you know, a title run. I don't think Vince. I think Vince probably feels the same way I feel about her. Like her mic skills. I think that's why he doesn't really like push her that much.
Do you think he'll be able to see over that though?
Yeah, because she's, you know, an actual, you know, she's an MMA ex MMA fighter. Like she has.
But Triple H sees that. Do you think
Yeah.
Vince McMahon would be somebody to see that?
I think it takes a while. I think Triple H can convince him and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see. It's just gonna be. I feel like we're not gonna see the true Shayna Baszler until in 2 years. I feel like in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll see her develop into her actual character that Triple H has seen her as. You know, so
yeah.
I think that's just gonna take a while for her just to develop and do what she needs to do, but. I'm anxious. Moving on, I'm anxious to see Seth versus Dominic. I wonder how that's going to go at SummerSlam.
Yeah, dude, that's interesting that Dominic's going to debut at one of the biggest pay-per-views. I mean, that's a hell of a debut, I'll tell you that much. My goodness. I wonder if Rey Mysterio re-signed a contract or something because but you know what, this could be good for Dominic. The only thing is just it's interesting because I've never seen a matchup like this in my entire life of watching wrestling where you just have some random kid going against one of the best in the world. And I really think Seth can probably just look amazing with him. Maybe Dominic is pretty good in the ring. I mean, I don't know.
Did you not watch the segment when he was doing cool spots? Dominic was like, he jumped off the top rope, did like a crossbody. He did like basic fundamental stuff pretty well. And you know, he grew up in the business and he has a good look. He's probably like 6'2", 6'1", 6'2".
This segment made me go crazy because I thought Joe beforehand was going to return. I really hope they debut Joe. Raw needs Samoa Joe.
Isn't he hurt though? Still?
His concussion issues, and he's had issues with that. I don't know really, but like last night, did you remember? Like he teased, he was like, you know what? You're gonna stop with screwing with Tom Phillips. You know, if you want to mess with somebody, mess with me. And he got into the ring, I think he's going to return soon. I think Samoa Joe's going to return, and that's going to be amazing. It wasn't last night, which pissed me off, unfortunately. I remember going to the commercial break like, Joe's back. And he ended up just going back to the –
Tell me if I'm wrong, though, but before all this, like, I think it was around, like, Hell in a Cell time or before that. Wasn't Joe kind of feuding with Seth and them?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes, so it could work. It could be the return thing for him. Yes, it was.
And I think that's what someone Seth needs. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool to see him versus Dominic. Like, it'll probably be a decent match, but like, I want to see Seth versus an actual, like, you know, developed, skilled wrestler like Samoa Joe or someone like that. You know. And
it's interesting right now because I feel like it's like Raw is 3 hours and needs superstars more than ever, and yet we didn't have Aleister Black, we didn't have Kevin Owens really wrestling. We still don't really have him doing much. Like
all he's doing is the KO show.
Yeah, we didn't have Ricochet or Cedric Alexander. Okay, all right, whatever. I guess still don't have Bobby Roode. I don't know where he's at. It's Sami Zayn's gone, of course. It just kind of.
I feel like
I wonder if they'll return Sami Zayn to Raw. I wonder if they'll do that.
That'd be cool.
I wonder if they'll do that. But I just kind of I just feel like Raw needs superstar power, and you know, it's kind of it just kind of scratches my head wondering why are they not having these guys on there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's just because like they're just like I said, people. It's like during this pandemic time, and people, you know, the wrestlers are choosing whether they want to come or not. You know, so I just feel like that is like the biggest thing because if Vince or someone can't make a person come if they don't want to, you know. So I think he's doing well with what he has, and I think we should be happy that we're getting like decent shows. I mean, last night was a good show. Like I really enjoyed last night, but there's been, you know, obviously shows that have been really crappy, but you know,
and that's been for every sport, dude. Yeah, that's even for basketball. That's for baseball. Everyone's saying that the fans being missing it hurts the product. So it's not just wrestling.
Yeah. And especially with wrestling, like is like a big fan sport, you know? So like that's one of the biggest sports.
You
It's
need
sports
the fans
entertainment.
there. Yeah, it's every weekly, and you got filled stadium. Like you need it. Yeah. I completely agree with you, dude. What were we talking about beforehand? Sorry, I kind of just blanked
Uh,
out because I want to end
Samoa
it. We can
Joe.
end Samoa Joe. Yeah, we want Samoa Joe. I wanted to return. That's all I can say about that. Then we had the triple threat. We also had the triple threat for the 24/7. Tozawa is the new champion. I think it's his third time becoming the champion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, so that happened. And then we had Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks. No contest. Pretty much she's, yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting for next week. I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to think. Oh, and then I also have a hot take. Well, not really a hot take. I mean, just shout out to the Street Profits on being on Raw consistently every single week during this entire COVID-19 era. Like I would say, I don't know how many people all have been. They're one of the guys who never missed a single Raw. So I shout out to them. I shout out to Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. I shout out to the people.
Andrade. I think Andrade and Garza too.
Andrade. I think Garza was gone for a couple weeks, but Andrade's been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andrade's been good. Shout out to those guys stepping up every week. They're gonna reap the benefits hopefully down the line.
I'm so anxious for that match. I think that match could potentially steal the show at SummerSlam.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. I hope they keep it on the main card. I hope it's not a pre-card thing or a you think pay-per-view.
That'd be so stupid. I'd be actually kind of upset if they did that. Like you can't have the tag.
They always do tag team titles on that.
Yeah, true.
It's so dumb. They one time had Jeff Hardy on there. I think did they have Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus or
Sheamus? No, it was Sheamus. I'm pretty sure it was the first. It was the beginning of their feud.
Yeah.
No, it could have been Cesaro. Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro.
I think it was that. Yeah, it was Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro.
Wasn't that WrestleMania's pre-show match? Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro.
You might be right. One. Yeah, you might be right.
I'm pretty sure that was night one. But yeah, I think the best part of Raw though, minus Samoa Joe and like that kind of stuff, was the promo between Randy and Drew. I don't know. That was just that was just much watch TV. Like my eyes were glued to the TV the whole time, and they actually brought up real stuff. Like I don't know. I just think with Drew, he's such a real guy that you can say anything from the past, and he's okay with his past too. So like he'll say it, and he's not shy about it. And I think that like having him as a champion really solidifies like WWE's not just like this scripted show that people like look at this script and they say whatever's on the script. You know what I mean? It's actually like they think about the stuff and it comes from the heart, and like you know what I mean? Like, and same with Randy. Like they're two real dudes that have sacrificed and grinded 20 plus years to get where they are. And I don't think a lot of people don't realize that. And I feel like a lot of people would be more wrestling fans if they actually realized all the stuff that goes on in the behind the scenes of the sport. So I just want to know what your thoughts on all that was, and like how you thought the promos were like from last night.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. It's crazy to see that the main championship on Monday Night Raw only had one segment last night. It was just
in the middle of the show.
In the middle of the show, and it was kind of funny is that Sasha and Bayley have had so many damn segments over the last. So I think they're doing a good job of presenting it, and just I don't think anyone can complain about this feud so far because it's only been they've nailed everything so far. It hasn't been they're running a ruckus all over the show. It's like 10 different spots talking about the Universal Championship for Randy Orton. You got one shot a week of seeing those two guys together, and that's it. And then after that, they're not touching. Like I'm excited. I am so excited for that match at SummerSlam. I think these two, they had a feud a little bit before SummerSlam or Royal Rumble, didn't they? Like at the end of last year for a little bit.
Yeah, it was something really small though.
It was when Drew became a face, I think. Started becoming an actual face. And Randy Orton and him, he gave Randy Orton the slap, like an insanely hard slap.
Oh yeah, they did have a match, didn't they? It was like a random. They had like a random match on Raw.
Yeah, it was like a really good match. Is when Drew started doing like his 3-2-1 thing, I think.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but that sounds right.
I don't know. We forget about it because of how Randy Orton essentially has just done a full 360 ever since his Edge feud.
It's just because and then Edge showed up and we just kind of forgot about it. So
yeah, exactly. So dude, it's just Randy Orton's a stud. These guys both just nailed it on the mic tonight. I love the story going into it. The fact that Randy Orton, he's somebody who who has been, who had all this help to bring him up, and now he's a legend because of all the legends who helped him, and he's not doing the same for, superstars like them. Because it is the truth. They are using the storyline kind of where, Vince can't create new superstars. They can't create new superstars because they don't have superstars to raise other guys like they had the Undertaker, the Shawn Michaels, all those kind of things, the John Cena's. It's sad because John Cena he would be used so well if he was like the Triple H of this generation, or like the you know what I mean? Like, because John Cena's just too big now. He's The Rock, unfortunately, but I wish he was more of a Triple H where he'd be wrestling into his 40s, unfortunately.
Yeah. I
mean, he could help.
Yeah. I don't know. And I wish, but he's doing what he wants to do, making movies and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think he'll come. But Cena's the type of guy that you need fans there, though. Like, I don't know. He's just.
What I'm just saying is just that I like, none of these guys don't have the Shawn Michaels or the Triple H's to help bring them up, or the Undertaker. Yeah. That's all it is. That's one thing that you can clearly kind of see missing with the show. So, but yeah, it was just truthful. It hit deep. I love Drew McIntyre being like, you know what? It just wasn't a passion of mine. I partied. I went through the roughest part of my career, my life at that point, and I could have used you. That line, that hits for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in stages like that in my life where you need, sometimes you just need somebody just to kind of help pick you up. And I just love that. I thought it was such a great promo. Kudos to them. I'm so excited for their match at SummerSlam.
And then next week, we got KO versus Randy. So maybe that's when we could see the KO becoming, part of the faction.
Do you think they're going to write off? What? Sorry,
that's what I was kind of thinking. I really hope they don't do this. Is after their match, KO and Randy, like they start becoming friends, and then that's like the two people of the main faction is Randy and KO, and like they slowly progress, like throughout the weeks of adding more people to it, and like Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton has him in his corner at SummerSlam, and just kind of like, I really don't hope they do that, but I really hope they don't do that, but I could see that kind of being a thing because the way Ric Flair was talking to KO last night, he was like, you need to start being like more like Randy Orton. Like, you need to start, like this type of stuff. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's something WWE might try to do, but at the same time, I don't know.
I wonder if Randy Orton punts KO and then KO returns in like a few months or a month or two or something like that, and they start a feud.
Yeah, that could be even. But you know what I'm saying about the faction thing, though? Like, that's something that could possibly happen. I don't want it to, but I could see WWE making a turn that way because we've seen stuff in the past similar to that, and it's kind of like, bleh.
I would absolutely love, maybe this is a take that nobody else would agree with. Sorry, excuse me. I would love if Randy Orton won the title and the Undisputed Era came and screwed the match for Drew. And then Randy Orton.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that because the feud is about him not bringing people up with him. Randy Orton, you don't think I bring anyone up? Here's some guy. Here's top, some of the youngest, brightest stars. You don't think I bring them up?
And then when Edge comes back, and it's a big feud between Edge and Randy, leading into like WrestleMania. But
I think clearly right now we want superstars like Ricochet back. We want people like that. But I also Undisputed Era would really be needed on Monday Night Raw. I think
we need Brock back. I don't know. I want Brock back, but I know he's not. Brock's almost getting to the level where he's too big for WWE now, or thinks he is, and which I mean, rightfully so. He's done a lot.
He just doesn't need a return. He doesn't want to return during an empty arena.
No, yeah, because
you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like that's what the hurt bit. What if he comes back for the Underground?
See, that'd be sick. If you challenged Bobby Lashley in the Underground
match, yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be unreal. That'd be really
SummerSlam.
Fucking unreal. That'd be really cool. I'd love that. Yeah. Do we know? Is there really anything really announced for next week so far? Do we know?
Besides KO versus Randy, Asuka versus Bayley.
Okay, Asuka versus Bayley. Yep. KO versus Randy. Probably more of this faction. Probably, hopefully, another Raw Underground. Hopefully, they don't cut that off.
I think there's some. I bet Drew probably has a promo or something. I don't know. I kind of want. I just want to watch Drew wrestle more. Like, I know, like he's squash matches and stuff, but like, I want to see him have like a dope, like big match on Raw, like a 20
We
minute
just had
really
one
good match.
with
I guess with
Dolph,
Dolph.
but we knew he was
Yeah,
winning. We knew he
yeah,
was gonna
that's the
win.
thing. That's the thing. Like make it a non-title match where it's him versus even not even Dolph again, but someone like KO or
Mm-hmm.
um I don't know, Ricochet even. Someone that could give him a good 20-minute match, but if they're non-title. So if he loses and he keeps the title, but that also furthers a storyline for later use that he can come back and be like, if say Ricochet beats him, like Ricochet be like, oh, I already beat you. It was a non-title match. Give me what I deserve, and
Yeah,
then I have a good match. And I don't know. There's
I
just a lot of
completely
things
agree.
that they can, and I just don't know. Drew's. I feel kind of bad for Drew at the same time because he's been carrying WWE throughout this all, and I feel like people don't give him enough credit backstage anyway. I feel like Vince and them are not giving him enough credit, but I could be wrong. I could just be speculating, but because when you're the champion, I feel like they're not showing him enough. They're not like he was only on Raw for what 15 minutes last night,
Giving him almost
and
the CM Punk treatment, not the John Cena treatment. Where
yeah,
CM Punk wasn't closing the show as WWE champion, John Cena was. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah. But at the same time, like I don't know.
I know what you mean.
That's what I just feel, but we'll
I
see.
completely agree. No, I mean, I know what you mean. I hope they keep doing a good job with him. I don't hate what I see from him. I agree. I want good more
Oh yeah.
wrestling out of him.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd say here, if we had to count things we liked tonight, I liked Randy Orton versus Drew, the Randy Orton Drew segment. Raw Underground. I liked the Raw Underground segment. I liked the Hurt Business. I liked the U.S. Championship match. I liked what's going on with like Shayna, and it's a little convoluted, but I'm excited because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what else we like
Mojo.
Samoa Joe possibly returning, hopefully. That segment was good with Seth.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. We and you liked Dominic, that segment with Dominic. We like, it's not a lot. Honestly, again, last night was not a bad show at all. I would say last night was very much a B+ show for me.
Yeah, I'd say it was like 8, 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
8.
I was flipping in between channels, of course, but Raw for me has just become kind of a thing where, you know what? I know if I don't like the segment, it won't last too long. I can just change it
Yeah.
back after, switch from basketball to that or watch the Cubs. I'm a
Well,
switcher. I'm a big switcher.
Yeah, but like usually like I get bored sometimes with certain segments like you just said, but like last night there wasn't really a segment that was kind of just like
It
I
was all
enjoyed every
new.
segment.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was all new and unique. I
it
liked
was
it.
entertaining.
Yeah. I like the chaos. I like that there's maybe, they were only ready halfway through the first show or something like that. Whatever.
E-
It's all right.
even like the Andrade versus like the singles matches between the two tag teams, like yeah, they're kind of like dry matches or whatever, but it's cool. Like Montez gets poisoned or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it was just entertaining and like
It was different. I did not
yeah.
expect it. I was always wondering, like, what's going on? Like when he passed out and we're just kind of like, was that real?
I thought it was real during the match between Dawkins and what's his name,
Yeah.
Garza. Like he was just like chilling, he just fell down like on the right next to the announce table, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
I thought so too. Yeah, that
And
was interesting.
but yeah, overall good Monday Night Raw show. Can't complain.
Can't complain.
Still something that we can watch. Thursday we'll be back with the
Yeah.
AEW review. So
Yeah. Hopefully we can have, and Max won't be on that one, unfortunately. Again, he's up north. But hopefully we can get somebody else on there. We might have a guest with us as well, so we'll see. We'll try to make that work. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining this. This was a very good Raw. Thanks you guys for just being a support of the show, and I hope you guys, if you keep subscribing, interact with us on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. And we love it. Monday Night Raw is a very good episode. I think we're looking forward to it. SmackDown's been very good. AEW's been very good. Wrestling has been pretty damn decent the last couple of weeks, I would say. So let's keep this good trend with that. Keep positive, and we're on the road to SummerSlam, baby. Moose, anything else you want to say before we go?
Nope. Just follow me at mabdallah20 and follow us like Kevin said at Just3Jobbers. We might have some merch soon, so let us know in the comments if you want a sweatshirt or a hat or something. We'll make special orders.
We're getting there, man. We're growing. This is, and I know you guys missed us last week. We're still here. We're not gone. Just need a quick little break. We're back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Love everybody here. Peace out, Moose. I'll see you Thursday, brother.
Oh,
All right, peace out.